Playing a course like Idlewild, there's just something about it that's different than other courses. What's going on, everybody? Kelly, and I'm bringing you a brand new video today. So today we are actually out at none other than Idlewild. So I've been talking about Idlewild for a long time now here on the channel actually, and we are finally going to be out here today seeing how well we can actually shoot out at this extremely difficult course actually. So for those of you who don't know, Idlewild is actually one of the courses that is on the Pro Tour. So we are going to be seeing how well we can actually keep up with the pros out here today. So one thing about Idlewild that is crazy is it is very technical, and it is also very long. Today I'm going to be trying to play the 18-hole layout that the pros actually play. I'm gonna see how the course is actually set up. I've not played this all the way through actually before, so we're gonna see what we can get into here. Let's jump into hole one. Hole one out here at Idlewild is going to be a par 4, about 640 feet. It's gonna be slightly downhill, and you're gonna see the basket way down there. So I'm gonna start the round off with the S-Line DD3 here. We're gonna just try and keep something in the fairway, not too far off on the right side here, or go OB on this left side here. Hopefully we can keep up today and just sit somewhere between hopefully even and plus 10. Perfectly fine with that. Gonna be right in the middle of the fairway. Should have an easy up and down to get up to that basket. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me here today out at Idlewild. I am so excited to be out here. The weather has finally cooled down a little bit down here in Ohio and Kentucky. Actually, that's what I've been waiting for. It's been really warm the last couple weeks here, so it didn't really line up really well to come out here and try and play this Pro Tour layout here at Idlewild, but this is actually going to be my first time playing through the full layout here in this fashion. I played a couple of the few holes out here a while back. I think like a couple summers ago. I tried coming out here and it was literally like 90 degrees and I couldn't even stay out here. It was so hot. Today, really the goal is to, just like I said, stay somewhere in that even range, along with, because this is a new course for us, we typically try to stay in that even range, but out here it's gonna be tough out here today, I'll be honest with you. So if I could stay anywhere between even and plus 10 or something like that, I would be super stoked on that. We're gonna see where we ended up here on hole one. Hopefully I have an easy approach to maybe get a birdie here. So the second shot is basically just another full drive for me, or I'm gonna take a fairway driver here actually. I'm gonna take the Glow Passion here. We still got quite a bit of ways to go, but if we can get something near the basket, hopefully have a look at a birdie or a par here. Wow, that was a great approach shot actually. Put it on a perfect line and went really straight, had a little bit of finish and skipped right under the basket at the end there. It's actually been a little while since I have played any sort of disc golf lately. I know it's been a while since I've actually uploaded as well. A lot has gone on in my time of being gone off the channel. Here, I'm gonna get into that a little bit, talk a little bit about what's been going on. Well, first and foremost, I had a video that was supposed to be going out. It would have been, when I'm filming this, it would have been yesterday actually, but I unfortunately made the biggest rookie mistake that you can make when it comes to YouTube. I lost my SD card with the round on it, so I wasn't able to actually upload, but we're out here at Idlewild. We're gonna get back to filming, back into the routine here, and uploading on a consistent basis. A huge birdie to start out this round. What an awesome way to start the round out here at Idlewild, with starting out with a birdie. We typically don't even do that on easier courses, so I'll definitely take that, especially on a 640 foot hole. Really stoked on that. We're gonna head into hole 2 here and hopefully keep this up. All right, hole 2 out here at Idlewild. You're gonna wanna push something pretty straight out there towards those trees and have something finish just off on the right side out there. Basket is gonna be about 608 feet is what UDisc is saying. So I'm gonna take the S-Line DD3 here again. We're gonna be relying on this disc a lot out here today. We're gonna just push something out here on this left side gap and hopefully have something hyzer back towards the middle of the fairway so that we can have an easy approach up and over the water that's out there. Ah, that tree really killed that there. I gave it a little bit too much height and not enough power It's gonna be off somewhere up there. Hopefully have an approach of some sort. The thing that we want to do out here today at Idlewild is really play smart golf. We need to make certain decisions out here, like how this drive is in a certain spot here. Since we are playing the pro pin locations, we're gonna have to put ourselves in really good spots if we don't get off the tee well. So we have to have great second shot, great approach shots to even get close to have something look at pars out here today. So that's what we're gonna focus on here today a lot. So we're gonna see what we ended up with here and hopefully have an easy approach. All right, so you're gonna see a basket off to the right side here. We're probably just going to lay up towards that basket there. That's not actually the basket we're playing towards, so we're gonna try and end up somewhere over there and then hopefully have a clean look over the pond that's right there towards the basket. I didn't give that thing enough height at all. You're gonna slightly see the basket now. It's gonna be up and over right there. Not bad at all, actually. We'll definitely take that. I'm not sure if that went in the water or not. So we'll take a 6 there. That's a double bogey. I figured that was gonna happen a couple times out here today. We didn't have a great second shot to get us lined up for a better approach shot over the water. But either way, the Glow Passion kind of saved that there. That disc has been flying really well for me so far. So we're probably gonna rely heavily on that today. We're gonna head into hole 3 here and hopefully not take another double bogey. Hole 3 is gonna be a par 3, 403 feet. You're gonna see the basket pretty much straight ahead there, just up and down the hills there. So I'm actually gonna take my TI Undertaker here. Basket is just pretty much dead straight ahead, but we're gonna have to flex this thing a little bit to get the distance on it at 403. We don't want something to go too far off to the left side either because there is a little bit of water over there. So we're gonna just try and pump this thing down there, hopefully keep something in the fairway. That should actually be pretty good. Coming out and playing a course like Idlewild, there's just something about it that it's different than other courses. It's like prestigiousness, I would say, out here, since this is where the pros play, one of the stops on tour actually. It's just amazing feeling to be out here. I was actually out here this year watching them, and watching them actually throw out here is insane. They make this course look way easier than it actually is. So you're actually getting to see the course from more a intermediate level player out here. But either way, I think we're playing pretty well so far. So we're gonna see where we ended up here on hole 3 and hopefully be able to get up and down for either a par or maybe throw it in for a birdie. Not the greatest run, but we should be able to clean up a par there. There we go, we'll take a par on that one. So I'm actually getting ready to head to Wisconsin this week for a tournament. So I'm gonna be playing a lot of disc golf this week, more than likely filming a lot of it, getting ready for the upcoming tournament that I have going on, as well as filming a ton of content while I'm in Wisconsin, staying with Caddy Disc Golf. It's gonna be a super fun time. I am so excited for that trip. All right, this is gonna be hole 4 here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour layout. You're gonna see the basket down there. It's about 432 feet, it looks like. I'm just gonna try and put something on a little bit of anhyzer off to the right side of the fairway here. I don't want to mess with the water on this left side with the forehand at all, so we're just gonna go out to this right side. Gonna take the TI Undertaker here again. This should hold the anhyzer line a little bit more. Didn't give it enough height actually, but it's gonna be in the fairway, so we should have some sort of look. At least we're not in the water there. All right, this is a little bit of a tricky shot actually, just because if you push too far off to the left, you're definitely going in the water. I'm gonna take my new Crystal Flex Zone here. Just put something out pretty wide actually, and if it does have any skip action, if we put it out wide enough, it should just end up somewhere close to the basket and not too far off to the left. Nope, that's gone. No way. I promise you right now that I did not move this disc whatsoever. It is just literally sitting right on the edge of going into the water. gonna be hole 5, par 4. You're gonna want to put something out down this way towards those trees that you're seeing right now and have something just slightly end up off to the right. This one is going to be about 555 feet. So a lot of the pros will actually either take and throw a forehand, which is what we're gonna do here, or some of them will throw a roller. I'm not very comfortable with the roller actually, so we're just gonna pump a forehand down there. Hopefully have something in the middle of the fairway so that we can have an approach shot at the basket. Threw it a little bit too high actually, so it hit the trees on the right side there, but it did drop down pretty well. We'll have some sort of approach at the basket. Playing the pro level layout here at Idlewild really puts things into perspective actually of how good the pros are. It's like crazy how easy they actually make it look out here to get into a position where it's easy for them to get birdies. Like right now we're in a terrible spot to actually get up and down to hit a birdie here on hole 5, but either way, I'm having a great time out here. I highly recommend coming and checking Idlewild out if you are in the area, even traveling through. This is well worth it, and we're only through 5 holes here. Try and show you guys the basket here. It should be tucked in somewhere just in that area that you're seeing right now. We're well before the basket, or in a really good spot actually. So we're gonna just try and put something in the fairway here to get up and down. I'm gonna take the Firebird here. Just try and miss all these trees. There's so many up there. If we miss all the trees, we should have some sort of look at the basket. Miss it. Ah, we hit it. Unfortunately, hit one of the biggest trees in the fairway. If we would have missed that, we'd probably been in a pretty decent spot actually, but we'll take a look and see where we're at. Hopefully be able to get something on the green here. You could finally see the basket now. It's gonna be on this little peninsula green right there. Super cool. Probably one of my favorite holes here. Gonna take the Big Z Fierce here and just try and get something through all these trees and onto that peninsula green. Sit. Perfect. That was a great approach shot. Specifically on the Disc Golf Pro Tour layout is probably one of my favorites. It's like nostalgic to me. I remember when I was first getting into disc golf watching the Pro Tour on Jomez, it was this hole that I always looked forward to seeing the pros actually play. It's just a very iconic hole out here at Idlewild, so I'm super stoked. Hopefully we'll pick up a par here and hopefully stay somewhere towards even. There we go. All right, hole 6. This one you're not going to be able to see. It's going to be through this gap here and then off to the right side there. It's about 437 feet. Going to be a par 3 actually, so super difficult. So I'm actually going to take the prototype Hades here. We're going to need something a little bit flippier actually to get out of here since I can't throw rollers. Typically the pros out here are throwing a roller on this shot, but we're just going to try and put something on an Anheuser angle and get something pretty far out there in the middle of the fairway. Almost slipped trying to turn that over a lot, but we'll be out in the fairway and hopefully be able to get up and down for a par here. 5 holes right now. We're actually only +2, which is not too bad. I'm actually really stoked on that. This hole here is probably one of the more difficult ones that I could have thought of in my head before coming out here, but I'm all right with the drive off the tee there. We're gonna be in the middle of the fairway and hopefully have an easy approach shot towards the basket. You guys, the basket now, since we're out here in the fairway, you're gonna see the basket right there. We ended up well short of the basket. We're just gonna take the Firebird here, make sure we can get up and down. Just a nice easy chip approach shot towards the basket. Miss it. Perfect. We're going to be parked under the basket. That's going to be a huge par here. One thing that I did here and that really stuck with me actually out here at Idlewild is watching Jomez and watching the final day when they did the segment on Andrew Marweed. Shout out Andrew Marweed, fellow Michigander. Actually, he said some of the holes out here, he knows that he's playing them for par. This one, obviously, they all try to birdie, but for me, this is definitely one that I just try to par every time that I've come out here and played it. So we're going to be under the basket here and pick up a par on this difficult hole. Big 3. I'm really stoked on that one actually. I really didn't think we were gonna get the par on this one. Moving on to hole 7 here out at Idlewild. I've not been over here actually yet. I've always just watched the pros play this hole. So I have never been on this tee pad actually. This is super demanding. You're gonna wanna get through this tiny gap right here and hopefully have something just make it up to the right actually. This is going to be a par 4. I believe it's about 475 feet. All right, so we're actually going to go with the forehand line here. I'm going to go with my Tour Series Raptor. We're gonna try and hit this tiny gap here, get something over and through there and up the hill just a little bit so that we can have some sort of approach at the basket here. That was a great shot, actually. We hit the gap that we wanted, push up the hill a little bit. That's gonna be in a pretty good spot to get up and down there. I can't emphasize this enough when you're out here playing a course like this in the Pro Tour. Layout is shot selection. You really wanna put yourself in a spot, actually, where your second or third shot is in a good spot to get up and down for a par or a birdie out here. So we're gonna be in a pretty good spot actually with that drive with the Tour Series Raptor here. Hopefully we can get something close to the basket and get a birdie here. So this is where shot selection comes into play here. We actually pushed too far up this hill. We got a kind of a tricky lie here and a lot of trees in front of us. So we're gonna take a putter here actually. I'm gonna go with the Tour Series Luna here. Just try and get something out back into the fairway so that we can get up and down for a par here. Perfect. That was really all we were looking for here. We should be back in the fairway and be able to take a look at the basket there. Be able to see the basket now. We're just gonna have a short approach shot to get up and down here. It's gonna take the Big Z Fierce here, just approach here. It's a little bit uphill, so it doesn't line up well for a jump putt. There we go, perfect. Big par there on a more difficult hole actually. 583 feet, par 5. You're going to want to put something, pretty much a forehand turned over through this gap there and get out to the middle of the fairway to have a nice look at some sort of approach towards the basket. All right, so I'm actually going to take a new disc in the bag. It is going to be the Big Z Zeus. We're going to have to force this thing over just a little bit on an anhyzer with the forehand here. Just hit this initial gap and get something out into the middle of the fairway there. Didn't turn it over enough. It didn't hold the line. It wanted to fight out of it a little bit quicker than I wanted it to. It still had a great flight. We're going to be off to the right side a little bit, so we'll take a look and see where we're at. Yeah, we ended up tucked off to the right side here, so we're going to have a pretty tough gap to actually hit here. We just want something to make it through here, get up to that opening there, and then we'll have another approach shot towards the basket. That might be the luckiest tree kick, and I've had lucky tree kicks in my life that I've ever gotten. Oh my gosh, that was crazy actually. I've never seen a disc react like that off the tree before. Super lucky kick. We actually ended up where we wanted to be. The disc slipped out of my hand a little bit too early, so I ended up hitting the initial trees there, but it kicked the disc out into the open. We're gonna be back in the middle of the fairway. Disc actually ended up kicking from all the way back there to back right there in the middle of the fairway. And then I'm gonna show you guys the basket to see where I'm actually approaching to now. You can see just the top band right there. I'm gonna take the Raptor again here. Just make sure that we get something through this gap here so that we can have a look at something at the basket. A little bit too much turnover on that. Luckily, this is actually a par 5. Right now with where we're at, we're actually still shooting for a birdie here. So if we can hit this putt, that would be huge on this par 5 here. There we go. What a crazy hole that was, but we'll take a par on that par 5 there. Man, what a really cool hole that was, a par 5 out there. Really demanding tee shot as well as approach shots, but really if you keep it in the fairway and keep things simple out here, you can definitely walk away with some birdies. We'll take a par on that one, which I'm super stoked on. Head into hole 9 here. Hopefully stay around that 2 mark where we're at right now. Hole 9 and the final hole out here on this front 9 at Idlewild is gonna be 258 feet. You're gonna see the basket right down there. I believe this is the one that Chris Dickerson actually aced, so we're gonna see what we can do here. For me, this is just gonna line up easy as for a forehand actually, so we're gonna take the Raptor here, hopefully get it through this gap and end up somewhere around the basket so we can end this round with a birdie. I let it go a little bit too early actually, so it went into those trees up there. We're gonna be tucked off to the right side. I've not played this hole before, so we're gonna have to see where we actually ended up. This is gonna be a super tricky putt towards the basket. There's so many trees right in front of us. That line looked really good. There we go, end the round with a par. That is going to conclude the front nine out here at Idlewild. I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in here today and hanging out with me while I take on this difficult pro level course. This is an amazing course. They do a great job out here of taking care of this place. It is just so pure out here with what the lines you have to hit, the amount of different shots that you actually have out here. I highly recommend coming to check out Idlewild. I want to thank you guys again so much for tuning in. If you like the video, make sure that you leave a like down below. Comment on what you think I'm actually going to shoot out here through the full 18 out at Idlewild, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you can tune in for the back nine out here at Idlewild. Thank you guys again so much, and we will see you in the next one.